With the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
Bob Charles.
Oh, yeah, you got the Bob Charles Show.
You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into
Bob Charles.
The secret of the technology used in the crystal skulls has still not been unraveled.
Don't forget, it's our world. Start taking care of it. It's time to think for yourself.
Bob Charles.
Open your heart to reality and to all the misinformation you hear. Just say no.
This is a Pyramid One International Network presentation. Hi, and welcome to the Bob Charles Show right here on Pyramid One World Radio. Let me tell you about the guests I have coming up tonight. Their names are Marc and Phyllis Brinkerhoff. Marc is an ET contactee, lucid remote viewer of his ET family or oversoul crew. He's his self-aware aspect from 12th plus dimensional universals of the Christ group, Intergalactic Vision, and the Astron Intergalactic Command. Marc is an actual walk-in who remembers entering his life completely unveiled from his previous reality. Extraordinary pioneer, remote viewer, Indo Swan identified Marc as his own higher self and a walk-in the day he met him. Marc and Phyllis remained close friends for over 18 years. Marc walked in at this time in human history to rescue his soulmate, Phyllis, from further incarnations back into this first level frequency, many incorrectly called the third dimension. This is due to the global end time, cosmic events that are unfolding in our part of space and will render Earth desolate for quite a few years. Marc is able to call in interdimensional extraterrestrial light ships, or UFOs, to be witnessed and photographed, to bear witness to his ongoing contact. He has had a number of physical encounters through his life, in addition to his daily ongoing lucid remote viewing contact with his oversoul and crew. There is so much going to be unfolded in this show that you, the listeners, will be passing this video to everyone you know. This is real news. This is really going on now, in the now. You can say third dimension. You can say fifth dimension. You can say 10th dimension. It's not now. Now is what we're going to be talking about now, tonight. If you'd like to call into the show, you got any questions you want to ask Marc, any question whatsoever, call us at 663-0153. You'll be live with the guests on the Bob Charles Show. Welcome, everyone. Let me present to you Marc Brinkerhoff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Marc, you know what? I tell you something. It's been since 2016 in February, the last time you were with us. And it's just been a couple of years, and that I'm quite sure. I mean, we were excited to be talking to you then. You're not only a friend of ours, as Diane said, they're love friends. They're people that you loved talking to, you loved being friends with for many, many years. But you're also, like I just said before, the now. Things that are happening now. What is going to be our future, even though it's now? Now is our future. Ooh. You think about that, really. I mean, seriously. I mean, what we're doing, what we're talking about, and I've talked about to other people like yourself. In fact, only 2 weeks ago, I had someone on here who was also a contactee, and he said the same thing. Bob, he said, you're right. There is no future. Future is now. He said, when you want to think about future, then you think about what I had talked about on another show that he listened to, which is the quantum theory. You can fold dimensions. It's not turning back time. It's taking time and just putting it together. And that's how our little friends do so much travel, and they don't even have a toll booth to go through. So, Marc, tell me all about you and what we're going to do and what we're going to talk about.
Hi. Thanks for having us on. I know Phyllis is here off screen. That's Phyllis.
I just saw an arm come in there, but that's all right.
Waving. Well, we're thinking about covering some information on the dimensional spaces where you go to after you leave planet Earth from either let's say a teleportation event or a death scenario when we die or transition to the other side. Many people don't know where to go or what's going to happen on that other side when they get there. And many people don't even know there's multiple dimensional spaces of heaven realms. There's a local place you go to if people just don't know what to believe in. Mm-hmm. And people might call it Bardo in
Purgatory.
Or Purgatory or the waiting zone. It's all the same place. It's the same place.
It's the same now. Right?
It's the same place where people go, but there's different frequencies or levels of that too. So if a person's a murderer or evil, they go to a lower section of that waiting zone where they get harassed by negative beings. And depending on how bad they were, and if they don't repent or forgive what they've done or ask for forgiveness, they get stuck in those realms until they kind of wake up. And that's the self-punishment that the oversoul or the higher selves place on themselves until they wake up on those sections. And how they can wake up easier for them if they are non-believers or atheists or haters of all things God or whatever, creator. People praying, people actually praying. That's the way you can rescue actual souls who are stuck in those levels. To pray for them and ask for them to forgive themselves and others, and then just ask the creator, thy will not mine be done. But I'm asking your creator, I'm asking if you can pardon those souls of those people and those children who've forgotten and let them come home. And that sends, when they can get that energy, angels can get sent as well as Yehoshua or other beings who have the light come near to rescue them.
I just wanted to interrupt here for a second because that's the place what you're talking about is a place I had an NDE myself. So, I mean, it's like, been there, did that, one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
That is the place. The place that you're talking about is actually a place where someone gets to see, like you go to a movie theater, you go and you see your life, what you did right, what you did wrong, how could you have changed something. And at the end of that, you're actually given the option to go back and, assume another, how would you say it? Someone gave you an assignment. You know,
Yep.
this is what you have to do in your life, and that to further your soul in its travel, or you can stay or go to another place
Hmm.
at the same place. You're given those options, and I think it's awesome. I mean, it's like yeah, somebody said to me in that, well, it's like going to court. No, it's not like going to court because these guys aren't judges. You're the judge. All they are
Exactly.
guides.
Yep. Yep. Guess who sometimes meets you? It's your own overpart that looks like a gigantic angelic being. So you're just a white being, and you're assuming it might be either it's creator. People might assume it's creator. It's Yehoshua. And it's archangels. It's this and that. Sometimes it's your own self coming to reflect to you all the things and give you the options of like, well, if I've been through that too, so I know what you're saying, and
Okay.
you see the whole thing go before you, and it's how you could have done better, or what if you did this instead?
Right.
And mainly, the beings are always asking, including the main beings who come to see you, besides your own self, maybe, are who ha- who have you helped, and how have you loved? That's one of the questions they've asked people a lot. And you sit there contemplating for a moment, and all the things reflect at you of how you've helped others in your uh, forgiveness zone or whatever you want to call this. Also, how you're being compassionate with others or
Right.
animals too, children too, because
Right.
animals are considered the same as children on the other side. So if people harm an animal in any way, except for the sacrificial animals that have given themselves to be the food, like a chicken or a steer, that's a
Right.
whole different thing. I can get into that later, but another time. But if people are harming or killing or hurting animals and torturing them for no reason, just to do that, that is the same as seen on the other side as hurting and torturing children. So it's the same punishments of self punishments that go through that, and that's the heavy zone down below the. We call it the second plane on the other side. People have called these things everything, but in way we try to speak of it as planes around planets and densities. So we have 7 heavy planes that are real planes going out of the planet systems as well. So each planet has its own levels.
Right. Right.
Uh, After they get past the 7th plane, there's 8, 9, 10, 11. It keeps on going.
Right.
When you get to those past 7, you're entering the cosmic zones, and you get to a higher 10th and a higher 9th, 10th, and higher around there. It's a universal zones. So this is why we named it the universal zone. But the ET universal zone is because where really our true selves are out on these other realms, not these low dense levels right here and now, which we are on Earth plane 1, which has densities within it, which makes those people who are going, I'm sorry, I'm speaking about the people that we hear in the New Age community saying, I'm moving into the 4th plane, I'm moving into the 5th plane. That has to be the frequency within the levels here right now,
Right.
because if you're moving this physical body into that 4th or 5th plane, you're moving into a dense etheric plane that's a little frequency higher than ours, but you're still going to have food, you're still going to have people, and you might even have children, etc. there. But if a person says, I'm moving into the 4th or 5th plane, which I heard back in the 1980s, and I would kind of laugh because I know 4th or 5th plane is not on this plane. It means you're on the heaven realm and you do not have a physical body like you have now. You have a
Exactly.
glorified soul body that you're working through, which is many times your higher self, your aspect of you, which does not resemble the earth person that you just left being on planet Earth. A lot of times it resembles a higher perfected being. And I got this picture that we did of Phyllis and me. We're out of body.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Okay, so that's on a spaceship with giant windows. This is one of the Arcvana ships around, but that's what I mean by you're about 9 feet tall here or whatever. Um, that's the glorified forms, or the I don't want to say perfected form. It just means it's a glorified version of this man being, or whatever we want to call it. Now it can have any color hair,
Yeah,
any
because
color
you
skin.
don't really look exactly like that when you're on the other side. It's more or less of an energy image.
Of me there on that side. Well, when people have met me out of body, I resemble the being I just showed you, and the being that's on our intergalactic mission site.
When he talks about energy being, we're physical, even on the highest planes when we're dealing with each other. Let's say a 7th plane, 12th plane.
Yeah.
We're physical to each
Yeah.
other.
I understand. because he said out of body, which is the same thing as being in your body, only somewhere else because it's your spirit that's going there. But
Yeah, a
what
lot
I
of
was
times
talking about was if you're in an NDE, you're seeing energy forms that you can see with your energy. You can see an angel, you can see a person and things, but it's all energy.
on when you had your near-death experience.
Yes.
Okay, they were doing the reflection effect. They are physical to us when we feel them on the other side. On these densities I'm talking about, the other planes,
Yeah.
where it's physical there in our bodies we're using as we are in these levels, except there's more on those dimensional spaces, like you can taste something with your hand or finger. But you will react and touch people just like here on this density, except it's a different frequency. It's a loving energy. It's very incredible. So it's if you touch somebody, you might feel a euphoric love because that person's your friend or somebody you knew in the past times in other planets or lives. And so it's really beautiful, a love feeling.
You feel that when you cross over.
Yes.
It hits you right in the face. I
Yep.
mean, it's this calming. I mean, it's like, and someone asked me. Actually, it was a doctor that asked me, and that he's into spirituality and everything. He said, "What did it feel like?" I said, "It was like someone just took the whole world off my shoulders."
That's
I
right.
said it was like the best. You can't feel that good here.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. Because there's something
That
going on.
happened to me. Yeah, when it happened to me, I drowned, and I realized my hands were floating. I was like, oh, "This isn't a good idea." I was about 7 years old. Somebody held me underwater and didn't know they drowned me because I had no air left. But yeah, I suddenly got enwrapped in warmth, like the love of God, the love of Creator, just enwrapped with warmth. You know that your angel's coming to get you. I know that. But with the warmth and the feeling you said, exactly like euphoric bliss, wow. And you just go. And you're in that love that's pulling you to the other side to come home. And I saw that turning with the light and everything that's moving. And I said to my angel, I'm 7 Earth years old, right? In mind, but my other mind is there too. And as soon as I'm out, I'm like going, if I go through that, to that, because it pulls you with love. I said, if I go to that, I won't be able to come back because it'll be too late. And then my angel said to me, see, I said that at 7 years old back in 58, 60, no, 60 maybe. So that meant something's happening. And I knew something's going to happen because I was telling my parents about the energy that's out in space, how our galaxy's moving towards it, and now things are going to change. And in the 80s, and all people are thinking of a shift or an energy frequency in 2012. But that was not going to be what everybody was saying. I was telling people, it's not what you guys think. It's not that. It's a frequency. That's all it is. But it meant we're moving into another area in the galaxy in space, in the deep space, which I've seen in the other side as what we called, on our level, a blue energy field. But on this physical density, it might not be a blue tone at all. But there's...
it might be in the ultraviolet spectrum.
It might be in the ultraviolet spectrum, right? I always get that one. Ultraviolet spectrum, because in space we see in those different spectrums, a lot of times the way the Hubble sees everything, they put them through the spectrums.
Right.
We see that on the other side when you're out there. We can see in those ways. On the higher realms, your eyes can see as you will, and you could see this ultraviolet spectrum. You can see alpha radiation levels. You can see different things on those high realms, how things are looking around in the space, and that's how the guardian and the archangel see too. But
also, at that time, that your pineal gland is wide open. I mean, we're only using a percent or 2% of it now.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was wide open. I mean, you wouldn't have to speak. Telepathic could be the second language. You wouldn't have to translate Japanese to American or German to American. We'd all speak the same language.
Well,
in fact, I've heard other languages spoken out of. I'm sorry.
I just want to say one thing. That's called heaven. This is a first level. This is why division reigns here. It was engineered to reign here. So
Yeah, boot camps.
That's why you want to graduate into those realms where you can see what you're talking about or experience what we're talking about, which is unity and love.
Yes, Phyllis and I have experienced out of bodies together and on the ship and everything, and actually lucid visions together in waking visions in this different room. But then I came to the room where she was. We saw exactly the same things. in our other body form, her higher self form as well. And so we know it's hard to explain this, but people can have these things happening. You got to cleanse, detox, and try to be as clean as you can. Don't drink a lot of alcohols or take drugs. But I'm talking heart medicine. I'm not talking that kind of medicine, or diabetic medicine. It's the psychedelics. It's the heavy duty stuff like ayahuasca. You got to be careful of these things. These were ancient, not you, but people. You got to be careful of taking these things because they can affect your energy field as well as your spiritual bodies around your frequencies here. There's bodies that we have that we utilize, and this can make holes in them. Now, people say, oh, I get this higher experience. I got this mind experience that I suddenly opened up the universe to me. Well, that is also part of the brain as well as the connection of the chemical affecting the brain, but also it's all located on this realm and this frequency. So you can be people can be affected by astral beings. The beings that come to them might be nature, elemental inversion. If they're medicine people, elemental comes towards them to work with plants. That's the good thing about small pieces of a little dab of peyote or something that the ancients used for that time.
But we wouldn't recommend it
But we
today.
don't recommend this today, as the crew and everybody saying. That was 3,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago when people were using this to show, like the medicine teachers and shamans. You might take the students that were ready, right? They know what their dreams, they know they're moving out of body, maybe these teenagers or 10-year-olds in those times. And you say, this is a potential student here that's going to make it be next person in medicine, healer, shaman, whatever it is, and et cetera, doctor. And then they see them. So you gave them those little pieces of that peyote, a little piece. They ain't give them a whole piece. They give them a little piece to give them a trigger to see what it's going to look like to move out of body, what it's like to be on that plane. But it's all right here in this astral version. It's not going 6 or 7 levels away. And this is what how they can trick people, these beings. And so people have had bad experiences with these drugs or different like drinks or whatever they're taking. And then some people might have a calming, good experience, and that might be because someone stepped in for them, like their guardians or they're even their own higher self, made them not have a bad experience, or they at least opened up their heart chakra or their crown in some way that they needed that for that moment. So it's really, people should do this individually with their discernment. You have to really learn, people have to learn to discern what's right and what's not right for them at this moment. But as far as we've studied and understand on the other side, this time right now, the Earth is going through, and this solar system and this galaxy is moving through a higher density frequency in space. It's more heavy magnetic energies as well in these clouds that they have out there. So they're going to be affected. So it's better not to take these kind of drugs that get into the system of the frequency, that's linger there, and you got to get rid of them before you can move into higher dimensional spaces on the other planes. So if you're out of body or soul travel, you might not get past the third plane. And I'm not kidding. There's heaven realm. There's a heaven realm, the third plane. You can go to the third plane, but you have to be cleansed. You have to be. So I've gone to the third plane to check on people who I knew who passed on, or who I was asked to go check on someone and how they're doing. And I met them and talked with their family and them. I'm walking on the heaven realm. I know, I've been there before. I know the place. We visit as people in space. We do come through these places. And I saw Yehoshua, I saw archangels, and I see them out there, but they're farther watching, and I see them there, and they know I'm watching them. But I realized the people I'm visiting do not see them. They're observing. And I realized, oh my gosh, not everybody's open to understanding yet to meet the creator, who is Yehoshua.
Exactly.
It's Yehoshua.
You know what you were talking about with the out of body on this plane. And that now, of course, you probably know Jamie Clark, who's a psychic medium. I explained it to him one time. Pyramid 1 came because of an out-of-body experience. And it was like a dream, but this was the weirdest. It's only happened so far once and a half. It almost happened once, but for some reason, I don't know, something disturbed it. But it happened that I was standing on sand right next to the pyramid, the Great Pyramid. The rock was right in front of me. There were trees and everything else, and dates and the whole 9 yards. And I could smell. See, this is where we had to date it, because the actual river that ran by there don't run by there anymore. So
and that's what flooded in the ancient times, 10,000 plus years ago, and
Exactly.
flooded the pyramids and the Sphinx.
exactly.
The Sphinx
And
was there earlier from
right. When I tell
space.
people that, they say, "No, you're crazy because there ain't no river there." Well, yeah, we had to look back, way back. You got to do a lot of history look. Yes, there was a river that went right by the pyramids, and not too far away. Let's put it that way. But in my walk out, I could smell the water.
I know.
You could smell, you can touch. I mean, I literally touched sand on the rock on the bottom layer of the pyramid. You could feel it. That is really out of body with your body. You're somewhere else, but your body is the real bottle, feels, hears, the whole thing. Just like you're here, only you're there.
Yep, that is. I've experienced those things as well, and it's really amazing. You hear and smell and hear them speaking in another language, and it's instantly translated in your mind because you're hearing them speak.
Yeah.
I heard Aramaic and all that when I visited. I saw the Annunciation, so I don't want to go into all that, but that was amazing. And there was proof that came years later of what I saw actually was in the house at the House of Loreto in Italy, in Spain. I'm sorry.
No, it's in
It's
Italy.
in Italy.
Yeah, it's
House of Loreto in Italy was the house that Blessed Mother
grew up in.
parents' house. And so she was about
Okay.
14 years old when the Annunciation occurred in the house. And I was taken there where we were doing Phyllis and I were doing a rosary and contemplating on Blessed Mother. And I was taken there. And I felt, for me, it was like 20 minutes to a half hour I was there, it felt like. But it was only less than,
Minutes?
not even a minute. And when I got back, I was crying. And so it's amazing. When you touch things, you smell things, you hear things. You're standing, every time you get out, push your foot into the ground you're on or walk a little, move your foot, tap it. Tap on something you feel like. You touched the rock. You know you touched it. You can go back to Egypt right now and go to that rock you touched. You know,
Right.
right where the position was that you saw it, and you go, oh, it's the rock I touched, even though it's scraped a little maybe by humans today. Maybe you saw it when it was still decorated with the shiny granite.
That was on the top.
You didn't see the rest of the sides?
No, you see, I saw. It was kind of sort of shining, but like as I say, I don't
Well, it's
really
polished.
a whole lot of stuff because I was all the way down the bottom, and the rock, the bottom rock was taller than me,
Yeah.
or I
Yeah.
was standing.
Oh yeah, the top was coated with a different kind of gold tones and shiny, very shiny.
Now,
This
when,
is ancient stuff.
when you do your out of body, don't you ever get the wow thing? Because when I was there, it was like whoa, this
Yeah.
thing, whoa comes over you because you there's nothing. It's funny because you can't do anything about it. You're there, so now you want to enjoy what's there, and then you're thinking, going through your mind the whole time is, what the hell am I doing here? It's like, hey, what's going on? Don't you want to get that?
And what you were doing was actually visiting your other life that you once had in that frequency. You'd probably like hit the Akashic frequency in your out of body, and now we're there in the frequency, and now you can touch it the way you want. It doesn't mean you entered the body you were in at that time. It just means you entered the presence in the area where you were. And you can do that because you once walked there, and you could touch the areas where you walked. So when it happened to me, it was the wow zone, like you said, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm touching the wall, I'm standing by, I'm not my height, I'm like, gosh, 7.5 feet tall, looking from a total different perspective, and I'm giving thanks in my heart for this moment, because that's a gift when they do that for us, our overparts, and usually sometimes with Creator, it comes in with that too, to give you this exact moment to know you're more than you think you are. You're existing right now in many aspect forms of reality, in the sense of we say
Exactly.
But on high realms, where we come, on the higher realms where your over self are, or the true selves, and the total self that was projected when Creator created all of us, souls and spirit. The Creator created us. That aspect is the total self. And when they showed me, I was about a teenager in some way, maybe 19 or so. I was out of body out there in space, and they showed me the metaphor of the salt shaker. I like to tell people this because it gives you a weird perspective on it. They said, here's a salt shaker, 1950s style, the hexagon, like with the silver top. So here's your salt shaker filled with salt, and it's levitating in front of me. There's big old beautiful planet Earth in front, down below me, way down. And they said, see this? This is your total self, what you call an oversoul or total self. See all the salt? Those are all aspects of you happening right now, everywhere in the omniverse. one aspect, one little grain of salt in that shaker is you right now on Earth as an aspect. So now when you think of your immenseness, and the creator and Yehoshua is beyond that because they're creator, but that just gives us a feeling of, whoa, wow, we're right now happening at once. And I've met other aspects of myself on the Arkvana. And when you meet yourself and you recognize, oh, that's me, and you go and hug or touch like that, you get a blissful, euphoric again, but also you get a exchange of frequency like that, and you understand all about that person or that being, because it could be an alien, that being, and they know you. And at the same moment, you know your oversoul is watching this and kind of giggling at it all because the kids are meeting up. It's like once you meet up, you recognize, oh my gosh. So right now we're just focused here. In one aspect form, we're focused, or higher self, your higher self is right in these frequencies too. You know, they're right here in this solar system. Your over part is there, and we have higher. I know this is something that's hard for people to understand, but they want me to say it anyway. In the past, I haven't sent this in the past, but if we're saying one higher self here, on this planet Earth right now in our solar system, your aspect is focused here. But let's say an aspect comes from another galaxy to visit you here, which that happens, and the future selves, or what you want to call themselves, because they look like from space, they're a future being to us, but in reality, they're happening now. You know, so they come to visit their other friend aspect on Earth in a spaceship to say hi, and we go, why does that feel so familiar? It's like my family, because it's an aspect of you is there, and they're saying hi. But that's another aspect.
What I was going to add to what you were saying are, we came from somewhere.
Oh yeah.
We came from something. We came from some part of this universe. We may have what they call DNA here, but it's the same thing as an energy signature.
Yeah.
An energy signature can be owned by someone a billion years from here.
Well, the signature of your, let's say, soul, or your frequency of your over self, we have our own signature, and I remember calling it that when some extraterrestrials came into our house one time in 1999, but they're friends, but they're small, and when I saw them in the silhouette, I was awake, and I saw them, I said, uh-oh. I immediately went to the grays, because I've never had an experience that was negative with a gray. On the ships I've met some, but I've never had a physical one. I was told it wouldn't happen anyway. But when I saw them, the silhouette looked similar, so I telepathically said, get out, you know, and don't you even bother coming here. I'll chase you down and I'll get you out of body. I'll go out there right now and find you. I'll get you and I'll get your signature. Because right here, once they're in front of you, you're getting their signature and your frequency right there. And that's how we all know each other. And why people feel familiar to you from another time as well.
But they were benevolent.
But they were my friends, and I had asked for them to help me, but I didn't know my crew was going to send me the crew that I knew on the other dimensions. But these kids, I'll call them kids, they're nice people. They're small, about 4 feet. They're called the Ilalu, and they're beautiful, and they're white-skinned, and colored eyes like we have, but large eyes. And when I first saw this same being, and I was about...
They're sort of Etherian, though.
They're Etherian. But they can come through. They can come through and work here and go back. They're not from physicals, but the Greys are. And they work through the other side, but the Greys are physical beings. Mm-hmm. These kids came in, and this one I knew, and she kept telling me telepathically, and her little voice going, we're not them. We're here to help you. You asked. And I went, oh. So I recognized, as soon as I turned and saw her face close up, I recognized and saw her, and telepathically, they're just love. They're just beautiful beings. So even so, there's beings that resemble similar ones, like grays, and there's other kinds that look different colors, like gray skin, white skin, blue skin, lavender skin. They're not the same beings. They're a different species of being totally. A totally different being, not a gray or a cousin of a gray or something like that. So...
But that was about the signature, so you...
And I said that was recently truly about the signature version of saying, I know your signature, I can find you. And that was the first time I actually used that line, saying that back in 1999. I hadn't heard anybody saying that yet. And when I told Phyllis, I went, huh, it's funny, I said signature of your energy, I got your soul. your energy, and it's true. And you'll hear it now said more and more as people say your frequency is your signature, and that's what they mean. But you know, when you're on the planet now, living this life, having a life that they're having today, your signature right now is your frequency as Charles, Bob, or Charles, or Phyllis, or Mark, in this frequency here. But we're also with the aspect of our higher frequency. We're all here. So this life we're going through right now is going to become a memory when you get to the other side. And when you're in your higher aspect forms, it'll be just like you're visiting back in your mind 2 weeks ago or at a vacation. You're going to go, wow, that was a wild trip. Your true self is aspected with your personality, some of your talents, and you find out you have more talents on the other side that you didn't bring back in with you when you came into life. But everybody brings some talents with them to give them that wake-up call, like, how did I have this at birth? How did I become a musician of pianos at birth and just know how to play piano? Past lives, that's how it works.
Well, there you go. Let me see if I get somebody on here. All the lines that are on here and are all 212. So I can't call that one, but I'm going to try for a name. How's this? All right, someone, the word on the bottom and it says Morning Star. Who's on the line?
We love Morning Star. He's fantastic.
He's our buddy.
Okay, come on. Yes? No?
Robert?
That's what it sounds like. Robert?
Yeah, it's Robert.
He's probably listening, but he's not near the computer.
Have you had Robert on your show?
No.
Oh.
Let's see. Hold it. We have another.
Robert.
Diane.
Is that Jill?
Diane?
Robert.
Oh, no. We got a Robert in there somewhere.
Hello. Hi. This is Robert Morningstar. You called me off guard.
We've got you. Okay.
Hi, Robert.
I'd like to introduce you to Marc Brinkerhoff.
We know him well.
We're close friends.
It's good to hear you. Well, I would like to ask Mark what he thinks of the current situation regarding the ET presence and open borders, and what is the purpose of all of this human trafficking.
Oof.
Do you get it?
Yeah. Wasn't going to touch on politics, but
that's all right.
But we look at it from
a galactic
the other
view.
way.
Yeah.
You got
way. And Robert's right about that thing. Let me see. I'm trying to get some of my friends and crew to chime in with me because they're there with us all the time. They just go up to my open park. Well, the trafficking is the negative influence on this planet, as we call the fallen. We call the fallen on these realms. And they are doing everything they can to insult, humiliate, do things to people or children to get back at Creator, to offend Creator in every way they can. And that's what they're kind of doing, but then they've got the people of the planet, the physical people, to like go down in their energy fields or take drugs or whatever they're doing, or get mind altered with music and whatever they're using today, and even movies and things that they're doing with children. Games, you have to be careful with games. They're 3D games and things that they're implanted with what do we call it, the subliminals and things that promote negative, evil,
behavior,
sexual, bad, irreverent behavior. And you see it happening all around the Earth right now. And this is a war zone right now, planet Earth. Our solar system is basically set up, and they're protecting the planet Earth. But the planet has been like a quarantine planet for thousands of years, not just 2,000 years. It's been a long time. So it's quarantined only because the species that's evolving, which is the humans now, but there were others before that went extinct. But that was like, I don't want to say it was like a science lab in high school, but it was like different groups had different things they were doing. I'll just say our crew and when we were observing this, we were not part of it. We do not agree with all that, but They do try to upgrade certain species at times to make it possible on these 3D type heavy, dense physical levels of boot camp one almost, to have a place to go and incarnate into to learn on these dense levels, the energies and things. Now there's dense physical planets out there like ours that do not have evil like we have here. They might have negative things like skirmishes and things and arguments, but they don't have killing of each other and murder, so and horrible things. So we got to see what's going on. These dense level where they were cast to. So they're promoting that trafficking. They're promoting all this negativity, and
enslavement.
And the enslavement of mind. And no, just let everybody know, there's people out there promoting stuff. Years ago, I saw that, oh, this was set up to trap your soul. This happened 5,000 years ago. Oh, this was a trapment of souls. No, the trapment of soul doesn't happen with you. You don't do that. We don't trap them. Nobody's trapping your soul. You're free. But if you believe they do, watch out. That's what these negative beings like to play. They get into satanic stuff, and they chase them even into the next life, because I've seen it in auras of souls that I've met, and I saw the satanic stuff going on from hundreds of years ago. And I realized the beings that are chasing them right now, are those beings that came back in their contracts that whatever they did, they didn't cancel something out, or they knew and believed it, that they could be traced and tracked like that. So there's something that goes on that side. From this side, when people make contracts with those negative beings over there, and one you want to do is get rid of these contracts and bloodlines, whatever they're doing, blood sequence, whatever they do, and just cancel out, and you call on the creator, and you call on Yehoshua Sananda, who's the creator as well, the threefold creator. So you have them, you call on them for purification and blessing and cleansing, and to cancel out ancient bloodlines, whatever these things are called, the blood contracts or something people made in the family centuries ago. They actually can go and do that in the DNA or the genetic code. So they can do these things on these frequencies, but you have to ask. You have to know it's possible. And then when you ask, you have to believe, because the Creator says. So remember, this is the free will zones all around. We're all free will, angels as well. That's why they fell, because they have free will to rebel. So Creator put a timeout on them and put them into lower densities. And I can get into that another time, because on the ships we see the writings that occurred and the ones that were taken out of the Bible text that they took out. So there was a writing that said, let us make man in our, let us is the threefold Creator saying let us, not a bunch of aliens, although aliens took advantage of that. But let us make man in our image. And man is the symbol of that soul, of the form, of the head, 2 arms, 2 legs. That's the form of man. You could be an ET from another galaxy with pointed ears and big eyes. It doesn't matter. That's the form of man. But then they have their different names of their races that they use, like Ayurta, or that was our race. I'm sorry, that's our race. Ilalu, the little ones I talked about. Then the Greys are calling themselves Greys, but they have a different name. So we got, and the Alarin are my friends, who the cat-like people. They look like cats, you know.
But to get back to the enslavement right now,
enslavement,
with the bad behavior of the lower beings that are in making human trafficking very lucrative. They've made it more lucrative than drug trafficking. So it's just, creating a terrible scenario.
It's basically they're trying to create the fall, and they're trying to create more of this. Bringing the people apart from each other, separating them, right? We were talking about today, Phyllis and I were talking about that, how they're just trying to divide everything. Like women can't have sports now, or something else. This stuff is going on. It's so crazy, but we understand what's going on. But people are going to go get mad, right? They're going to go, you can't do this. Because we have lots of things going on the planet that nobody agrees with, but they're making it so. Sort of like Star Trek now, make it so. But we can fight it, and everybody has to just. I know this has been going on for how many centuries now. They say if you think this thing and think and pray and believe this or that in the planet, things will happen on the planet with a frequency, and that's true. But remember how they pray and they do nice things for Earth Day, and I'm not putting Earth Day down; it's great. But Earth Day, so they're going, oh, we're going to put energy to the planet. That's nice, give energy to the planet. But you know what? It'd be really nice if everybody would just think of love to all their brothers and sisters, everyone in Creator, and praise the Creator, because when you praise the infinite Creator, because it doesn't need us, it does not. We were talking, Phyllis and I were talking about this today. Creator doesn't need us. We need Creator. But Creator doesn't mind when we are giving thanks and have gratitude for the beauty we have and this life we've been given. And it's eternal. And you're eternal. So it's given you this and us this. And we're going, we thank you. We praise you. Whoa, you know? And then you start seeing the beauty. But guess what? When you start praising the Creator, it answers back in different ways with love. So people are out there going, Creator's impersonal. I don't get anything. I said, it's impersonal. If you're impersonal, you got free will. Send love, be loving. Say, this is things I used to pray. I say, I long to see your face. I love you so much, my infinite and radiant Creator. And the space people in space call Creator Yahweh. Ancient biblical text. That's the real name we use on the other side, Yahweh. And when Yehoshua came to earth and he became translation Jesus, and 100 years later in Greek, Yehoshua means Yahweh saves. Yeshua means Yahweh will save. So when you start researching this information, it's incredible and beautiful. And I have personal relationships with Christ. I have this. He materialized in the house here in 1999. So I have this with him. But I know him before I came to this planet as Sananda, and the Son of Love. And as I grew to understand who Yehoshua was, I told my grandmother when I was 5, I said, it's the same person I'm talking to and where I go home at night. You know, my home was out of body soul travel. But how could I explain it as a 5-year-old? That was my name, home. And that's why they use that in ET the Extraterrestrial too, because I helped with that consult. Yeah. They use home. They said, where's the spaceship you go to? I said, well, I called it home because it was home. Okay. But we got to, what, did we answer that? Robert, I'm getting
well, he's wondering what's going on, you know, maybe when does it end? How does it end?
Oh my gosh, yeah, when?
Robert, before we go on, Robert, is that your end part of that question?
Oh, yes.
No, not Diane. Robert.
Yes, thank you very much. Really, the reason I ask is that I know that the Illuminati, the deep state, as we call it here, made deals in the 1950s to allow the alien presence to abduct up to 50,000 people per year, and it got worse and worse. And one disturbing statistic that I read from the United Nations in 2002 is that there were 500 million missing women on this planet. According to statistics, there should be 500 million more women around, and they're not around, not to be found. So it's a very serious question, and I thank you very much for taking it.
Thanks.
Well, we hope that
Robert,
they have transitioned and not held any animosity toward their you see, this is part of the problem with this frequency down here. When terrible things are done to you, the karma starts to build up again when you can't forgive the terrible things that are done. So we try to teach about forgiving the unforgivable. And that releases the karmic attachment to somebody who has hurt you deeply. And so 500 million women are going to have to, you know, forgive the unforgivable. You know, but that goes on all the time in this frequency.
It's not just Earth, it's other places too.
Husbands hate wives, wives hate husbands, you know, all kinds of
density.
things.
And that's what our thing was, to try to help people get off this first dense level, because there's other places you can go to, but you have to work for it. You have to cleanse, you have to detox, and you have to do things. But you also have to change your way of thinking into benevolence and love of all. And that's the hardest part for people, is to benevolently, like Phyllis is saying, forgive these evils of all types. But you can do it, and you'll get past the 7th plane.
Well, the thing, what makes it easy is when you understand the ramifications of cause and effect.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes people have instant karma where they're doing things, and then a month later it hits them the same way that they did to somebody else. And that's pretty instant.
And that's good.
And if you wake up to it, you're going, whoa, yeah, they stole something by, they took something, and then something else was taken from them that was a little bigger, let's say a little more expensive or something. And they realized, yeah, I took that from the office, right? And now, whoa, that's stolen from me, out of the car or whatever. You know, we don't know how it plays, but it can play out in that way. And instead of getting angry, you just go, oh yeah, well, that was instant. But here's what Phyllis and I do. We do perpetual repentance. As soon as you think you did something wrong, said something wrong, thought something wrong, because we're on Earth. Nobody's pure here. No one's perfect. Even if you came in to help in any way, when I came in, I was trying to help to get Phyllis home. she's my oversoul, and we're soulmates. My oversoul mate, soulmate. Okay, so we're that.
You're on the right. You're on the right.
To rescue her basically from this dense frequency, her aspect, to get her home, to connect to her higher aspect, which is when I'm out of body with her. So the higher aspect of your higher self. So we go connect that way. When you leave here, you connect to your higher self. And if you recognize you have a higher self, that being might come to you and talk with you and hang with you, and until you make a connection that person's awful familiar and it feels like my best friend. Might be projection of myself. If you think in any way, they will pull you in and you will be blended. So I'm trying to help people alert to that, to ask for that. If you get to the other side of, if a death experience occurs and you get to the other side, say, if you're like believing in Creator and everything, you say, Creator, help me to connect to my true self, or Yehoshua, help me get it to the other side, whatever. He does help you if you call on him. He's waiting for everybody to call. But so that's one of the things of connecting to the other side. And you can, when you get out, you can get to those higher levels, and they'll show you places to go to learn and how to think and what to believe or trust or whatever, what beings you can meet when you get to that waiting zone into the first level of heaven.
I just want to say that part of the problem of this frequency is that if you're ensconced deeply in a particular type of religion, religions have a tendency to give you a very simple view of reality, or simple view that really, some of it's true, but a lot of it's, inaccurate. Like the Christian religion has taken out reincarnation, which Marc says Jesus taught the apostles as soul migration.
Transmigration.
Soul transmigration. So there's a lot of information that people are not seeking down here because they're content or they're whatever. And so they don't seek to even think about the things we're talking about today because they're satisfied in the way that they're living or whatever. So they'll just keep recycling over and over and over again because they never even bothered to ask when they get to the other side, to their particular heaven, because they land up in a heaven with people who think the way they do. So nobody's thinking outside of the box.
Yeah. Unless they ask questions. The curious soul out there gets a lot of help. That's what knocking at the door, asking that will be, asking to be given.
So if we can get people to just start thinking outside of the box, their angels and the Lord, whoever, God will bring to them additional information which will start to set them free. And that's our great hope.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to put together something in that. And I think if anybody that can think about or think of something like this, it's definitely you two. Put together some kind of thing. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but I kind of sort of on the edge of like throwing in a YouTube webinar.
Ooh, fun.
Something like that would be something where you guys can have people come in and ask questions, just like Robert. And I do have someone on the side that's going to get to you in just a minute. Diane, hang in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we do something like that, that would be something that would open up. It would open up people's minds, because those people that came into those type of meetings would go out and talk to someone else.
Exactly.
You've heard about it all the time. That you've heard about, people who talk around the water hole, on your park or something like that. Opening of businesses is coming real quick. There's going to be people interacting with a lot of people real soon. I think if just put a little burden with what they're thinking about, and say, I heard this guy. That's all you need. I heard this guy. This video is due or available to anyone, anytime, anywhere. It's on YouTube. We have our own channel for Pyramid One Radio, and you can get a copy of it and pass it around to everybody you know. If more people got this information, they'd say, I did that, or I saw that, or I did that, I was there, whatever. You'd be surprised how many people have had these experiences but don't talk about them.
Exactly. Yes.
They don't realize they had them, or they're just afraid to open up their mouth to think that somebody thinks they're crazy.
Yeah. No, I had this incredible dream. I asked them, is it real, that stick in your dream? Did you touch things? Yeah, it was like I was walking around. I said, it's a lucid, out-of-body mixed dream.
Right.
As soon as you wake up in it and realize this is just the house, but it's reversed, it's not real, Oh, then you can project where you want to go now. You can say, take me to the spaceship above America right now. That they take you there. But if you don't know, how would you ask?
The problem with trying to do a 1 hour show is that the layers of information that people need to begin to contemplate are so vast. Just even the idea of the bad ETs that are manipulating things down here versus the good ETs that have no intention of doing ill to any of us, and they're just trying to lift us up, like the Ashtar Command Mark was going to hold up.
That's like
picture. I don't know, Bob. Have you seen this one?
I have. Yes. I have seen that.
We show this on our shows, but this is showing you the 3 giant spaceships that are, like this one's over America, Europe, and all that. So and when people go out of body, they get to go to these ships. They're like 2,000 miles long and about 500 plus miles high, and they can change them at any moment they want. And one of the ships that I'm talking about all the time is the home ship, Arcvanas. These are outside, they're in a higher frequency. And this is just a rough idea. Earth, Jupiter, and an Arcvana.
There's the Earth, there's Jupiter, there's the Arcvana.
Just to give you an idea, and they build on those ships, and they're crystalline looking, made of thought on the higher frequencies. But you can go there, that's where your over part is. If we're in this galaxy right now, we have that ship in this solar system, that's the ones working around our solar systems, and other ones are in other parts of the galaxy, and you can teleport to each one. These are the home bases for the oversouls to form into, so we can relate and get back and forth. We have body forms on the 12th dimensional space, but they're very, again, similar to this type of look, and different forms of extraterrestrial looks. But they're beautiful, and they're all love, and they're all our overparts. So some beings on those levels will take on different forms. They were like a cat person or a lion-like person or whatever it could be from their times in another galaxy. And just for fun, they will do that. So you go, hey, I knew you then. And then they transform back. I've talked with people on the other side. They're mostly androgynous looking. When they're talking energies, they might transform masculine looking to feminine looking just a little quickly in the frequency. All right, androgynous and beautiful.
Let me put Diane through because I know she's jumping up and down. And whoever's making noise, remember, you're on the radio live. So if you make noise, we can hear you. Okay, so just everybody be quiet as a mouse, as I call you. Diane, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Go ahead.
Hi, Diane.
Marc and Phyllis, I must tell you, I will send you an email because my question will take too long to answer. It's almost the end of the show. I couldn't get you on my computer, so I just dialed your number. But I will send an email.
Diane, do you have a question now we can ask right now?
Yeah, go.
No, no.
She wants to send an email. It's okay.
Someone else do it.
Okay. You want effort someone else for a question? Thanks.
We got Eileen on here, too.
Eileen, yeah. She's in Florida.
We love Eileen.
Eileen?
Diane, too.
Hi, Eileen.
Hi, Mark.
Hey.
I figured the only way I could get on was to dial in the number rather than hearing online because I tried to figure out a link to go online, but I don't understand. So I just called the number.
That's okay.
Sounds good.
Do you have a question, Eileen?
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi.
I don't know if I have any questions. I think I have a lot of questions, but I don't know if I have. Nothing pops up in my mind. I heard you were talking about different species of beings on the planet, the cat people, but I don't know if you were discussing something else before.
Not on this planet.
Not on our planet. They're from another solar system. In space, this galaxy, actually, yes, but not on our planet. I actually know a captain named Bia Alaruk. That's his name. And I've been to his planet. And I can't go into, I'm not supposed to all the time go too deep with them, with what they do, but they're benevolent beings and they just can't come to the planet right now because if people saw them, they would go, what? They're like 8 feet tall. They're beautiful, cat-like people.
Yeah.
But they're Etherians. They're not physical density like us, but they're in the next Etherian phases over a frequency where they actually have children. So their kids are adorable. I mean, they have a tail and everything.
What other, I should say, so there's a lot of angels walking around on the earth now as well, and star seeds. They call themselves star seeds. And I guess Venusians and I don't know.
Well, you know, angels are a different species. They're not souls like us. And so if they're an angel doesn't incarnate on earth, they can materialize and form right here with us if they need to help us. But if they're using angel in the word as a messenger from space, that's what we all are, yeah, messengers from space. But the word angel means messenger. But if we're talking angelic realm, those are a different species, like Archangel Michael. They're substance with Creator. They were the first created. We came after, and they do not appear the way really we see them. They project to us that way. Michael or different Michael or Gabriel, they appear as human looking to fit. But on another galaxy, another place, they're going to appear as that species there. They are an energy of light. They really are light. So when people see that projection of a blazing lighted human form, that's kind of really what they look like. Then they'll take a form that molds to what we would like to see them look like, sort of. So archangels have different looks, but they look similar, actually. Some of them, not all. And they're huge. They're gigantic. I mean, I've talked with Michael before I came to Earth, and I know him from there. His energy form is bigger than galaxies put together. He's huge. But he comes into this form to be with the Earth, to work with the humans here, as well as other people, other beings, other places. And he's amazing. So that, again, back to that salt shaker, angels are similar. They're self, and then there are many aspected forms that they can put anywhere. Like Yehoshua can be anywhere at any time because he's creator. An archangel can be in similar space with him and see, but no one is in the zone of the infinite creator except Yehoshua. So this is what creator meant. I am within and without. So we're only seeing the within we can see, that it allows us to know.
And we even have a symbol you brought in, which
there's a symbol, yeah, on the other side I brought back from the higher on the ships that represents the threefold creator and what its meaning is. And I was like, so Phyllis and I are trying to finish this universal symbols book as fast as we can, and we just might have to shorten it to make it one get out and then the next one another one, because we got over 100 of these, and I can't make one book of all of them at once. So some will leave out, but we're going to try to focus on the best ones right now to focus for people to help the planet Earth.
Mark, like people, do you talk the language of light? Do you speak the language of light? Is that what you're speaking with these symbols? Is that a form of light?
Well, it's kind of represents everything like that. If Creator had a shorthand mind of light version of writing, this is how these symbols came to me on the other side when I'm on the ship. They show them to me. I'm only allowed to bring back what I'm bringing back. I've seen them since I was a kid, but I was told they were like art. So I was not allowed to know what they were. I was only seeing them when I was out there in a limited mind as I saw, and I went, they're beautiful, but they look like art. Okay, that's what you're going to say for now, and think. That was when I was 5. But as I got older in 2008 and all that, I started in 2014 is when I started really going to the ship and putting my hands on them, on the walls, where they move through the walls, they move. And I understood their alchemical energy frequency with the infinite creator projected, and on those high levels, they help to keep these ships that we use as arcvanas manifested in the frequency of love. It is all working through the infinite creator. And since we're on the realm where we are with energy of creator, everybody says, oh, I want to be one with creator. That's as best as you're going to be in the infinite energy of the infinite creator, like in the auric energy of the creator, is as much as we can tolerate and get to. The infinite creator is only transversed by got to by Yehoshua, or Sananda, as we call him in space, and the Holy Spirit. All comes from that one being. All is reflected to us. The infinite creator is infinite. Sananda comes through to us as the aspected form of a man image, personal reflection for us to relate to as creator. So that's what he said to Peter. He says, don't you know when you see me, you see the Father. That's what he meant in energy, and the energy. And also a little bit of the expression of how creator wants to be appearing to us as. But then the Holy Spirit, as people call it, the Holy Spirit, That's the manifestation not only of the Creator with Sananda, the love between the two. And that projects as the frequency that comes through as the Holy Spirit energy, which becomes the manifest energy of miraculous healings on this density. So when we pray and ask for the three, not just one, ask for the three, and the Holy Spirit comes through in that praise. That's what I'm promoting, the praise more. We're always praising in our hearts, but Creator, and now more than ever, we as groups of humans on this planet and aliens, whatever we are, we're all not from Earth, need to praise the infinite Creator, give thanks, because we have to come back. This energy, these negative beings cannot handle praise
it's like
of the Creator. They run from it. They can't stand it, including the name of Sananda and Yehoshua.
When somebody is actually praising, there's no negative entity that can even get near you.
They run.
They can't
get near you. If you get a pain, Phyllis had done this already, practice it.
Too much pain.
If you get pain in your leg, or if you get a pain somewhere, that's headache, anything, right? Start praising. Don't fall into the pain, but start saying, put your hand on it and praise Creator. Give thanks for Creator. Give thanks to Yehoshua.
Instead of whining.
And even say, you might even say, I pour the mystical blood of Christ upon you. You could say that too. That's the energy of Yehoshua comes in the frequency, because he was on the earth walking and he bled here. Now, the other thing, on other galaxies and other solar systems, other planets, he has come in to walk on those planets too. He wasn't always killed in any way, but sometimes he was. I've talked to him about this. He says he's done this. This is a mission he does with the Creator. This is part of to get the children to come home. And it happens only on these heavy, dense levels like we're on now. It doesn't happen on those ethereal levels, although in some it could, but more of a benevolence would come through. But not everybody knows who Creator is. Not everybody knows who Sananda is on those realms out there. And when we get them to wake up, to come home, they start having experiences. So the fastest way to get a connection to Creator and love, humble yourself, devotion, reverence to Creator, and start repent in any way you can. Say, I've been bad, I know it, and then ask for that love to come in, and then start praising Creator for everything you see, all the beauty. And Eileen, you live in beauty, as does Bob. He lives in Florida. You have the beauty around you. Go out there and praise, walk in that water, touch that sand, give thanks for everything you see and all the animals and everything. And even the little ones that annoy you, the little insects that might annoy you, give praise to them, because they're food for somebody. But I used the technique in back in the 1976. If you say this word in the highest frequency you can in your own voice, even guys, Hugh, it's Hugh. I know people like to say Hugh is Creator, and that's another frequency, but you say Hugh in the highest version. I can't do it. Phyllis can do a high. Hugh.
That's pretty
Go
high.
higher.
That's pretty high.
As high as you can do it, and keep it going. There's a frequency. The mosquitoes run away from you. I did it, and I can't. I was surrounded by mosquitoes at a Marist college. They were doing a lecture, and I was sitting under a tree, and I got surrounded by them. And I remembered that technique from space. And they said, "Do this when you're on these levels." So I did. I just sat there and went, "Yoo," but I didn't raise my voice. Kept higher and higher. And then these people surrounded me. I didn't know they were there until I opened my eyes, and they were sitting there smiling. I said, "What are you guys doing here?" And they said, "Well, we saw you since we came over, but we were being bugged by the bugs." And then you were humming that sound or hewing it, and you seemed to not have any bugs around you. And so we sat down and we just sat near you, and they got the bugs away from them. So that's when I told them, now do it to you. Do it yourself. Try it. I'm not kidding. It's the highest frequency you can do is yourself. Now, whatever. But you have to have that vibration. You hear it like...
Outside painting.
That's nice. Good job.
It has to have a frequency vibration.
They run.
Well, I'll do that. I'll do that in the afternoon when I'm outside painting, because around 4 o'clock the mosquitoes start coming out.
Oh.
Try that. Even record yourself doing it. Put the tape on.
Oh, good idea.
You can do a high voice. You probably sing really nice. You have a good voice. Do it as high as you can. Or a couple of your friends, get them together, all start hewing.
Oh, she's got it. She's got it.
That's what you do. And you just take a deep breath and keep it going as high as you can. Take another breath and do it again. And before you know it, they're not there, and you don't have to do it anymore because the frequency went out into your aura.
Like that high frequency. They don't like that high octave, huh?
No. Remember, it goes into your energy field frequency. So it goes and it starts shimmering out, and they get annoyed by that. So they will back off. And they didn't bother me for the rest of the day.
I I also wanted to just mention that on the Intergalactic Mission website, on the Q&A page, oh no, I'm sorry, on the Omniversal symbol page, if you go down to the bottom of the page on the Praise Creator symbol that came in, I think it was one of the first ones that came in. Praise
the
Creator.
most important symbol of all.
Was
the first one I got.
We decided just to put some praise words in there, so in case people do not know how to praise.
Well, just ideas, yeah.
It just gives you an idea of how to praise, and you might want to draw that symbol in the air when you're praising.
Draw it in the air like this, back and forth, reversed. That's the symbol for praising the infinite creator. And when we did this, we praised, and we had an Alleluia song going behind us by, I forgot, some girl, but a beautiful song
Amy
with Pachelbel. Might have been Amy Grant.
No, maybe you're right. It was
well, Amy Grant does an Alleluia one, but Catherine Jenkins does something with Pachelbel with Alleluia all the way through. We played that in a group, and we just did the symbol in the air. People closed their eyes, they were drawing it, and the Holy Spirit frequency of energy came in like a wind. It came through us, and there was no windows. It came through the whole room, went through everybody 3 times with love, blissful love. And the girl that called in before, Diane, she was there with us. And she was crying. So we have 3 friends that were there with us.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And
anything else, Eileen?
Can I copy it and email it to my friends, Mark?
Yes, sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bob will have this show. You can always send them the show or get them to Bob's site for the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Eileen, you can just write to Bob Charles Show at live.com. And I'll send you a copy.
Did she hang up?
Okay. I'm on Mark's site. But I'm on Mark's site already.
Well, I'm gonna have
oh, she's looking for the.
Okay, it's Omniversal symbols on the left side, and click on that, and you'll see the symbol Praise Creator. Click on the symbol, and you'll get a whole thing on words of praise that Phyllis and I were just. And by the time you're finished saying them, you're crying because it's praise comes in. It's beautiful.
I'm here, Mark. I'm here. I adore you. I love you. I glorify you. I praise you. I give thanks for all you are. I desire only you. You are holy. I'm reading it.
That's it.
Well, there you go.
You see what happens when you do it?
Just when you start saying it, by the time you're done, Phyllis and I always are crying because you want to say more. Just make up more. You are the living waters of life, love. It just keeps on coming out of your mouth because when you get in that frequency with your overpart, who in your higher self, you will. This is their natural way of being on those high realms. They're in praise in that energy. On the high realms, on 12th and above, we actually praise the infinite light, the infinite creator that's there for us and manifesting for us. And we go in group and we just adore and praise the creator with love, harmony.
Beautiful.
You're hewing, you're whatever you're doing everything, even words and thoughts. And the light feeds you that way. That's the love of creator. Just feeds you. That's how you eat on those high realms. There's no food. It's just light of creator and the love of creator's bliss. And you share that. And as souls on the planets, as we walk, we're souls as well. We're spirit. The spirit of us is that which connects to the infinite creator, to Yahushua, to Yahweh, the creator. And it's the soul of us that's here as well in these body forms too. And we're to manifest that light. We're supposed to walk the planes of the planets and frequencies as projecting that love of creator through us to our brothers and sisters. And that's what we as souls are to do. That's where we are. But as spirit with soul, the spirit is that which is the frequency that we connect with creator. That's the frequency when you're the hue or whatever, that frequency.
Well, there you go. And Eileen, keep in touch.
Yes.
Keep in touch with Mark, definitely.
That's it.
Back here, and you're going to be able to actually look him in the face.
Why don't you just tell me?
I don't know why. Was there any way to get on your website through the internet? You know, through seeing you?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you can get on TuneIn. If you have TuneIn on your phone, you just get into they're doing it right now in Europe. You get on TuneIn. You get on. Too. You get on TuneIn.
Well, that's where I went.
Yeah, you get on TuneIn.
I went to your link. Wait, I went into your link.
No.
Well, yeah,
that has a link on it to get into TuneIn.
Okay, so I'm there. So the Bob Charles Show.
Literally TuneIn.
How do you click it?
Okay. all you have to do, you could do it outside of that. Just go into TuneIn on your search. You come up with TuneIn on search. You just look up Pyramid One Radio. Bam, you see some pyramids. You click on the pyramids, and you're live right now.
Cool.
Okay.
See, we began now. Now I'm telling you about now.
Now it's now.
Now is now.
Hey, now from the Universals, we got a message.
Yeah.
Said it before once, but not always. But the birthright, this is from the crew, the birthright of all souls is never-ending quest for truth, knowledge, and most importantly, service to our infinite and radiant Creator. Oversouls never cease learning and growing in service to Creator. We live in an omnipresent zone. No need to meditate. We do praise Creator. The goal should be about Creator and our personal relationship with it and its divine will of the Creator, the divine will of Creator.
And that's it.
And so I have other information they gave us, but that might be for now.
That's the crux of it, though.
Yep.
You want to operate in divine will.
Yep. Thy will, not mine, be done. What is it, Thy will, Creator, that you want me to do today? How can I help? How can I help? Not how can I help me? How can I help you through our brothers and sisters everywhere?
All right. Eileen, thank you for calling in. Keep in touch, and we will get to you. All righty. Now,
thank you.
What I would like tell people how to get in touch with you, just in case they're trying to find a website or whatever. Let's have the website.
Well,
okay.
A few of them.
We got a few now. Intergalacticmission.com.
ET Universal.
ET Universal Zone, which you can actually get to on. I'm sorry. ETUniversalZone.com. See, I make Phyllis. And you can actually get to a link on that Intergalactic Mission first page. There'll be a link. You just see it right under the big round circle with the pictures in it.
And also,
and Brinkerhoff.com. That's my art site, which you can get to the other site on. As a link there too. And that's basically.
Well, the fairy reality isn't really.
Yeah.
I haven't built it out very much at the moment.
We have a for Nature Kingdom Elementals, a fairyreality.com, but it's being worked on right now because we're working on a book with the elementals and fairies that we have here, actual photos, and they've had physical manifestations with them, but no photos of that. I wish I did. But they did appear on my photographs in the 80s.
Let that one be another show because now you're opening up. Wow.
You like elves?
Yeah, Pandora's box, because we've had a couple of people on the show already that really fairies were they spoke to them, they interacted with them
all the time.
Yeah, there were so many things that people don't know,
exactly,
just don't believe because they've not expanded their minds enough to be able to take this information and use it.
No, and they don't know the fairy elemental realm is the beginning progressions of the angelic realm kingdom. So
exactly.
Our guardian angels were once native little fairies, maybe on another planet system and thousands of Earth years ago. But people don't know that, and I've been talking with Pan. I've met Pan, who's actually an archangel. He told me to let people know that back in 1977. So when I met him in the fields in upstate New York, the energy that surrounded me, I thought was going to be space people behind me. When I turned around, it was Pan over 20 feet tall with an angel of the field, a unicorn, and elves. So I've met elves and
we have
physical elves. You got here. And played with them out there in the park. Went to their little circles they do out there. They have gatherings. And I can tell people a lot what I've learned from them as well, what I know from space, from the beings I know in space who are angels and who are nature beings out there too. Because even on the ships, if we have any plants on these other ships as well, if there's any trees or plants, which we do have, there's a presence of the elementals there with us who are also angels. So they're taking care of things like that. We are all friends in those levels. And the guardian angels you have here with you today are your friends from the higher realms that your overpart knows and higher self beings know, aspects know. And so they work with us and we come into these low dense levels. They say, I'll be with you. I'm there with you. Don't worry. And so you go out of body, they're with you. Sometimes they're behind, so you don't see them. They want you to experience yourself. But sometimes they rescue people who get stuck. If they call out, the hand will come in and pull you out. And that's your guardian helping you out.
Well, let's leave this for another show because there is a lot of talking in that subject.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, we
You
have
have photo drawings I made of them. And
we have to do an entire site on just one of the elves here who wants to. She wants to talk.
she used to have a site of her own we called AskEflin.com. Eflin's the elf. And people would write her questions. I'd read them to her. And this elf learned how to read. She knows a lot of reading now. I taught her what the words mean. I showed her this is this. She knows what love. They recognize now words, but some of the others don't. So she's teaching them sometimes. So it's amazing what they do and how they grow in size when we as humans here on the planet give them love, recognition, and thanks for the things that they do with their trees around your yard or flowers. Give thanks, touch them, say thanks for the shades, thanks for the beauty you bring, the smells you bring. Thank you, fairies and elves and gnomes as well with the rocks. And they're amazing. I've only know benevolent ones. I've never heard anything negative from them. They say, well, we get arguments, but it's nothing like Earth. They're all friendly and happy and joyful. And they sing. Okay, Bob, sorry.
Let's get out of here. Now we're going to talk about. I'm going to definitely get in touch, and we're going to talk about some future endeavors.
Okay.
And that coming up and that because people like Eileen, Diane, there's a lot more people than that out there they want the information. They're looking for the information, and we have to feed them.
Yeah.
We have to give them the seed. They're going to grow the rest between all their friends and everybody else, and that just like anything else. And on this network, love. See, you're touching a real sensitive part here. We've talked about love in every single show we've ever had.
That's awesome.
On this network. Every single one. I've said many, many times, it's the most powerful word in our universe.
Exactly.
But then again, when you've stepped over into the other side,
yeah.
Oh boy, you don't realize so much here. Here it's let me see. Love becomes an adjective in a sense, and in some sense a verb. But no, you go outside of this dimension, it's a noun. It's number one. People don't get it. But now that we're kind of explaining it a little bit, people are getting it a little bit better and knowing that, hey, come here, we will love you.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And everybody, again, I'll never stop saying this. Keep praising our Creator, the infinite radiant one that we call in space is the infinite one. You will don't give up, keep knocking, keep praising, keep giving thanks and sending love. And ask for a tangible contact of some kind of sign. Personal sign. It comes to you in your own way, but always when you don't expect it. But it will come close, especially when you start praising. You might feel the atmosphere changing in the room. And that's keep praising. Amazing things can happen, and this earth can be transformed better with what's going on here. I know they're working underground and doing different things with the good guys, like Robert was wondering, but they are working. And our crew has also told me certain things, but we won't go into it. They said everything is happening, but keep the light. It's going. There's more of us than them. Just keep remembering that. They promote like they're more, but they're not. We're more, and we got a lot of space crews and alliance groups out here that are working together as
the good guys
projection and everything. So, and they're here to rescue too. If we ever need any help, we're here. But
there you go.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Marc, Phyllis, thank you very, very much for being on the show, and we will be continuing at a later date.
Okay,
excellent.
Thank you.
We'd love to.
You're an honor to be with you.
Hey, are you kidding? A friend in love. Listen, I want to tell everybody out there, listen, this is a show that you must pass on to as many people as you can. Put them in Facebook, put them on Twitter. Maybe Twitter will hate us when we're all done because we're saying love and they're not. But tell them that's where we come from. God bless y'all.
Amen to that.
Bob Charles.